How's it going, friends? Thank you for coming again to my channel and thus giving me the opportunity to share valuable information. It is important to take into account that the information I present in this video is, of course, for the general public, but any person in a management level or social or political leadership could be benefited in its administrative management for the benefit of the public. In fact, that is one of my objectives with my channel. I try to inform and create awareness, especially in leaders in their responsibility to the public. To better understand what I present in this video, if you watch the previous video in this series of how to improve the world, that will help you a lot to understand the problem of world hunger and the solutions I will be presenting. According to United Nations data, every minute 11 people die of hunger around the world. Then, of course, hunger in the world is a problem. And does it need to be solved? Of course, yes. What is the solution? Feeding the hungry takes away the hunger. Hours later, what happens? He will be hungry again. After one day or 1 week, maybe 1 year, what will be still happening? This solution can help a lot to satisfy the hunger of the moment, but it can create dependence, and the hungry will always be waiting for help with food, and that is what he should do, of course, because yes, he is hungry. The United Nations organization has a department dedicated to food and agriculture, known as F.A.O. for its acronym in English. Food and Agriculture Organization is a specialized agency of the United Nations that directs international efforts to eradicate hunger, helping developing countries to improve their agricultural, forestry, and fishing activities. In this definition, it seems that in developed countries nobody goes hungry, but that has never been true. And in addition, they also have poverty. For example, in the United States of America, 16 million children, 1 in 5, live in households where there is no everyday food security. That is, they are poor, hungry, malnourished, and may die. Also, there are non-governmental organizations that try to help with the lack of food in many places, giving food to the hungry. It is important to know that if there are so many organizations that are treating hunger as the problem to be solved, then why is it still not solved? 24,000 still die every day around the world, of which 18,000 are children under the age of 5. Is anything really being solved? Or there is something that is very important and they don't know it, or nobody wants to solve it? World hunger is not the real problem to be solved. Hunger in a population is the consequence of different factors where the solutions do not depend largely on the people who are being affected. Some experts highlight the financial and monetary factor as the cause of hunger. Therefore, being unemployed and not being able to work, plus food price inflation, produce the loss of the purchasing power of money, and results in poverty. And also, there are those who say that we are many on the planet. There is overpopulation, and there are not enough food production for everyone. That affirmation is a big lie and reveals ignorance and bad will in not wishing to look for the real problem and give it the solution. That attitude is to be against humanity. There's also those talking about to have more food to distribute or sell, have more money to help the poor, increase world food production, increase the lands for the cultivation, produce more genetically modified food, produce and use better fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides. In some places and in world organizations, the blame of all this is given to climate variations. Well, I cannot use the two words of much used in the alarmist propaganda of these times. I hope you understand me. None of the previous points are the causes nor the solutions. Why? Because the problem has not been well defined yet, or those responsible do not want to solve it. Hunger is a consequence, among many others, of the structures of the world system of industrial economic development, where the human being is neglected on purpose and in a planned way. That is, hunger is a consequence of the wrong way in which all the governments of the world intend and pursue the economic development, but without taking into account the true development of individuals in all their stages of life, from childhood to more advanced ages. The governments, they measure the development of the country based on the economy and the power of its currency in the international market. In other words, there are no plans for the complete and integral development of the population in any nation. One consequence of this situation is the ignorance and lack of interest of the general public everywhere in the proper use of food resources. Do you know that enough food is produced in the world to feed 12,000 million people, but the current population in the world still does not reach 8,000 million? Then, that difference of 4,000 million people, which there are not in the world, means that more food is being produced than what is needed. There are a lot of food left over, a lot of food that nobody eats. Then, what happens? Is there or is there not enough food for everyone? Why are so many people still starving? Do you know that 1/3 of the world's food production is wasted? That is equivalent to 1,300 million tons, which are waste. They are no food for nobody. In Ecuador, for example, with a population of 17 millions and a half people, in the cities of Quito and Guayaquil, 47,000 tons of food are wasted every year. With that food that is wasted, 1 million and a half people could be fed. 32.2% of the population in Ecuador or about 5.7 million people, are in conditions of poverty, hunger, and malnutrition. According to a study conducted by the United Nations, 61% of food waste in the world comes from households. For sure, we must learn to buy, store, and prepare food and eat, developing better habits and customs in order to avoid waste of food products. A good example of how food is wasted is in the United States, where the equivalent of 59 kilograms of food is wasted per person per year. That is equivalent to 161 grams a day, a little bit more than 1 kilogram in a week. It is like living a little without eating at each meal. In 2019, in the United States, hunger affected 35 million people. In that year, 10.7 million children suffered from hunger, and increased to 11.7 million in 2020, the year of the pandemic. This shows that the economic development of a nation is not what solves poverty, nor the lack of food. There is something that has been happening, but the world leaders have not been able or have not want to give it a solution. In the description of this video, I will leave some links to help you with more details. Thank you. I invite you to place your comment on what you think should be done to improve people's lives in your community and maybe in the world. I hope you have seen that it is really possible to improve the world, but the interest and willingness to do it, the necessary solutions, is lack. Remember to share these messages with everyone you can, friends and family. By indicating the thumb up, you say that you like this information and thus you help this digital platform promote this video. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Below near the description you will find where to do it, or you can do it by clicking on my photograph here on the left. Thank you for your visit. I do really thanks for your visit today. See you in the next video. Thank you.